Hi, today I'm joined by professional fire risk assessor Andy Leather, and we're going to be looking at flammable materials in relation to fire risk assessments or FRAs within churches. So Andy, can you tell me a little bit more about this and what we need to look out for?
Sure, the key to it all is the fire triangle. There are three sides to the fire triangle: heat, fuel and oxygen. What we must do is ensure that is always managed.
And within this church, Andy, what specific flammable materials have you found?
Well, typically in this church we found hymn books which are made of paper, we have the tapestries and the curtains, and we have wooden pews. So there are lots of combustible items within the church.
I'd imagine they're all fairly common to most churches. Are there other flammable materials that we need to look out for in other churches?
Well, a lot of churches now are introducing kitchens and cafes. Well, of course, if you look at the fire triangle, that introduces a source of ignition and combustible items. Typically within a kitchen, a hazard could be a towel that's located next to a cooker, a very simple incident that could be avoided.
So once we've located the sources of fuel, Andy, what do we then need to do?
Well, the first principle of any risk assessment is, can you remove the hazard? In this case, the hazard is the combustible item. Not always possible. So once we recognise that we can't remove a combustible item, then we should be managing it. Managing can be many formats. For example, making sure that any furniture complies with the relevant legislation. It can also mean that we treat the curtains with a flame retardant material, such as a liquid that will help it to resist the effects of a fire.
Okay, and at certain times of year, would we expect to see an increase in the amount of flammable materials within a church?
Yes, absolutely. For example, Christmas is a very, very busy time for the church. And what happens is there will be displays. So, for example, the manger, which will be perhaps full of straw. All these things should be managed. And then, of course, there's the Christingle service where people are walking around with candles. Nothing wrong with that at all, as long as it's all managed.
That's excellent, Andy. Thank you.